intro here because I know you want to hear. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Joe Murray, and I'm President of Public Affairs for Fidelity Investments here in Merrimack. And for New Jersey by the Bush administration and confirmed in 2001. He is related to terrorism. And in 19 earned him a second term, which he is currently serving. As you all know, he is now running for the Republican.
She left that morning on September 11th, like she always did. She left at 6 o'clock in the morning. She drove to the train station in Madison, New Jersey. Got on the train, took the train from the World Trade Center, took her off. It was 2 blocks from World Trade Center towers. And she came through that building at 7:30 that morning on September 11th. We'll be married 30 years. And so I was thinking to myself, like, what am I going to do if she doesn't come home? What am I going to do without her? The second question I was thinking about was, what am I 5-year-old? Do you tell them you haven't heard from mom and you don't know? Do you tell them you're sure mom's okay? Around their faces, because in Lower Manhattan that day you could not breathe. And it was very hard to see. And so 6 of them left together. They held hands with each other because it was, about 10 minutes to 2. And I was obviously elated, relieved, all kinds of emotions, and made the pickup of the kids a much easier thing. I didn't have to deal with any of those 3 questions then. And she got on the bridges, the tunnels, the mass transit systems were all closed. She got on a boat on the east side of Manhattan, and she took a boat shore, the Atlantic. And I went down and picked her up. I'd done that a few times when there were problems with the train. She could pull right up to the dock, but this time, someone who looked like her coming down the street wrapped in a blanket. And strange, right? But she got closer, it was her. Down with a fire hose from head to toe. Experience. And when we got home, one of the first calls we got was from the wife of There's lots of reasons I'm running for president, but that's the biggest one. And we can talk about a lot of the other reasons too with your questions. But if I just was going to talk to you about one thing, and I wanted a huge speech here. I can tell you, for having been in New Jersey, this 1.5 to 2.5 feet of snow. There were 2.5 feet of snow in my backyard on Saturday night. So it doesn't look exactly like that, but I appreciate it. And I'm definitely. That was bad enough that I had to declare a state of emergency. When I sent out my cabinet, when I met with him in the United States in a meeting he requested when he was here on a visit, and then I met with him on a trade mission in Mexico City. Very smart guy, very nice guy. I guarantee you, no matter who asks him, he's not paying for the wall. I don't care how beautiful the wall is, how amazing the wall is, how incredibly, unbelievably beautiful it will be, and how beautiful the door will be that the good people will come back in after we kick the bad people out. I don't care, okay? He ain't paying for it, you are. And it is a waste of your money, and it is ineffective, and it sends the wrong message, because I have never known a wall that a determined human being couldn't get over, under, or around. And so let's not be fooled by the easy answers on this, okay? Build a wall across the entire southern border, through the Rio Grande River, all the, doesn't make any sense to me, and if I'm president, I won't do it. Second, I want to make sure that we put more FBI, DEA, and ATF agents along the border with Border Patrol to intersect the guns and the drugs that are coming from south of the border. It's a real problem, creates an enormous crime problem, especially in the border states, and an enormous drug problem that I hope we'll talk about sometime today as well, throughout our entire country. We need to do more of that. They're more expert at it than the Border Patrol guys are. No offense to them. Instead of building a wall that'll be inordinately expensive, we should use drones with cameras and stationary cameras on the more remote parts of the border, so we can look at those parts of the border in real time on screens. And if there's activity going on there, then we can deploy forces to those areas to use it. Fourth thing is visas in general. Of the 11 million people who are here illegally, 40% of them did not come across the southern border. 40% of them came in through the airports. They're on a tourist visa, they're on a work visa, they're on a school educational visa, and they overstay their visas. And I got a lot of trouble. I was up here in New Hampshire over the summer, and I said, listen, I don't understand this. If Federal Express can track a package from the time it leaves your front door and to the time it gets to the front door you're going to, it can tell you at any moment by, clicking on an icon with a number exactly where it is. Like, I don't know who needs to know that anyway, but they do it, right? It's on the truck. It's in the warehouse. It's making its way through the processing center. It's on the plane. It's flying to your next stop. It's off the plane. It's in the processing center. It's back on the truck. It's on the truck. The truck is driving down Elm Street in whatever town you are, and there it is. It's on your front door. If they can do that, how is it that people coming here on visas, we can't keep track of them? The administration testified a few weeks ago, 120,000 people are here on revoked visas, and they don't know where they are. Well, that's a bit of useful information. I mean, so of course, when I said this, people, the press, people, not real people, the press, they wrote headlines like, Christie wants to treat immigrants like packages. I got asked on CNN, legitimately asked on CNN, Governor, is your plan to put another saying you're going to put barcodes on people? Like, the concept of the English language. That was an analogy. Use something as an example of the kind of technology that's available that can help you. And I don't need to put barcodes. We need to take everybody's fingerprint who comes in here on a visa. We need to put that on the database, and then when they go to she said, what the heck, let's have Governor Christie for Christmas. And you do all that stuff, and then 3 days later, Joe goes up to the guest room in his house, and I'm still there. Joe's like, I invited you for Christmas, man. That's in some other way. Fifth is E-Verify. Every one of our employers in this country should be forced. And then if you hire someone illegally, after but if you don't like your vote, yes or no, you cannot vote at all. You can abstain. Like school, you can get a sick note and abstain from the test that day. It'll catch up to you eventually, but you cannot show up. And we have a like school. They tell you what 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I don't get yes or no questions. No 3 feet, there's no yes or no question to that. Hurricanes hits your coast, there's no yes or no question to that. There's an attack in your state, do the job and do what your people sent you there to do. The infrastructure of this country.